Hello, welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for being here. Today I'm bringing you a Kickstarter preview of Wonder, LaCluck's Revenge. And you heard that right. That is LaCluck, as in the horrible pirate chicken that's been awakened due to your occult practices in the Cult of Barnacle Bay, where you've messed with the accursed rituals of things that maybe you shouldn't have, and awakened a bunch of ghostly sea-like typhoons that you now need to take down. Do I have your attention yet? This is coming from Panda Cult, and if you're familiar with Wonder, the Cult of Barnacle Bay, you're going to know a lot of the similar mechanics and systems that are at play here to make Wonder, or the Wonder game system, a approachable family-weight dungeon crawl. Now, that being said, that does not mean that it is always easy. Instead, this choose-your-own-adventure story is going to be easy to get to the table. It's going to be an easy way to onboard people and teach them the love of, well, storytelling and board gaming and dungeon crawling. But there is still some tactical and some important decisions that are being made here in the mechanics system of Wonder. So, Wonder, LaCluck's Revenge. Shall I set up the scene of the story, or should we dive into some of the mechanics that make Wonder stand out? Start with the mechanics, and then let's hop into the theme, or at least a bit of the flavor text and story that you all should know about. So, the Wonder system. The Wonder system has a few key attributes that make it an approachable game system, something that you should be looking at and possibly adding to your game table. Some of the things that it does is that it not only simplifies some of the AI movement and AI actions, but also makes dice rolling the responsibility of the player, making it so that only your attacks and your defense rolls are the things that you're controlling for. The AI in the game is going to be focused on a whoever they can reach type of mentality, which simplifies the movement, one of the most complicated parts of boss battlers or dungeon crawls, and allows them to actually just push forward, go ahead and hit you with a base attack, and whatever special abilities they have, and then you'll roll a simplified dice system, allowing you to see that if you've blocked, dodged, or missed any of their corresponding damage. Now, the other thing that this game does or the Wonder system does that is key to the way that it works, is that every single one of your characters and character cards are going to have their own little progression system, similar to, if you've played Zombicide, the way that in each scenario or each standalone session, you have your characters ramping up throughout the course of play. Not only does that provide a satisfying system to explore in, you can go down different pathways, choose different progression methods, and adjust your skill set based off of the campaign that you're going through, but it also allows you to switch characters in and out, explore with other units and other parties that you want to play with, and bring players in as quickly and easily as possible. Instead of having 15 hours worth of stats and information you need to pass on. Instead, you need to set up the type of character that they're playing, where they could progress to throughout this one contained story, and then also any gear, experience, or storytelling that they've learned along the way. You see, because the element that starts being carried with them from session to session is actually going to be the items, gear, and other things that you have equipped to yourself, which will not be few and far between. Instead, you'll have a plethora of pocket trinkets that you can throw around the board, manipulating your own stats and causing damage and chaos to the world in front of you. But your core character, your core consistent progression, is going to follow a tiered system, going from level 1 all the way up to level 5. For instance here, with Cutlass Kate, we start off on level 1 with either a tail whip or a sharp senses ability. You could choose either one of those, and then you progress to level 2. Level 2 is going to be +1 action, giving you a little bit more manipulation and movement around the board. Once you gain a little bit more experience by taking down more of your enemies or accomplishing some of the mission tasks, you'll move to level 3, where you could get a charge ability or a scale skin. Scale skin is going to be defense and HP. Do you find that the enemies you're fighting are a little bit stronger than maybe you were preferred or prepared for, or do you want the charge, more of a reckless head-on cutlass attack, allowing you to rip your enemies apart and hope that you don't die before the end of the session? After you've taken down a few more enemies, either by being a little bit more defensive or a little bit more ruthless, you'll move on to level 4, where we have Outnumbered and Swift Foot. Swift Foot is going to make it so you don't need to do a dodge attack when moving around your opponents, again, neutralizing or negating one of the core mechanics of the game system, giving you a little bit more flexibility and a little bit more power when it comes to how you're approaching the play. Or Outnumbered, which is going to allow you to take 1+ attack action against targets close to more than one hero. You're now flanking them. You're now using the other squad and the other team that you have around you to take down your opponents. And then the final thing, If you make it all the way down to level 5, you have To the Locker, +1 attack per wound on enemy target, max 5. That is where you're taking down the big boss. You're doing everything you can to be the linchpin of the game group, and you are hopefully ripping through that final session, or you've made it to the final crescendo, and you're going to die moments into unlocking this level. That's how each one of these characters progress. So we have a simplified, accessible, and approachable AI system that always puts the player in control. We have player levels and upgrades that allow you to do and progress through this choose-your-own-adventure story while carrying items and gear with you, but not needing to learn every single system of every single character you have around the table, letting you play with friends a little bit more easily, a little bit more quickly, letting you onboard or experiment with the type of party that you want to run with, and letting you play session to session if you're not one that enjoys or always loves playing through an entire campaign quickly or thoroughly. I mean, Wonder is one of these game systems where you can honestly put it back into the box between play sessions, bring it back out, and get it to the table quickly and efficiently, which is something to be said in the realm of dungeon crawls. They're either one-shots, or they really should never be broken down. And Wonder's kind of in that sweet middle ground, where it exists in both areas. Now, it is going to be a little bit more approachable, a little bit more accessible than some of your heavier dungeon crawl titles, but there is another element of depth and strategy here. That's going to come down to not only the abilities that you have, but also the action or the turn that you have and when you're actually going to be going. So the initiative tracker. And let's see if I can find this board here. So I'm showing you from the old rulebook because I don't have the prototype board here with me, but there's an element in Wonder, which is, in a lot of ways, its claim to fame, which is going to be the initiative tracker. The initiative tracker is going to be where you start controlling how the actual game system works. And what's so cool about this is that every location on this initiative tracker actually has stats associated with it. Gain more defense, gain more movement, gain more attack. And depending on where you are on that tracker will determine how you actually maneuver around the board and what actual other benefits you get. Do you go early with a little bit more buff? Do you go in the middle, but you're able to hit a little bit harder? Do you go at the very end, but you actually get to sidestep or move out of the way a little bit more efficiently? That puzzle is really satisfying to sit down and play, and it is the advanced side of that board. However, it is something for those players that really want to feel like they can sink their teeth into a system of the game. It's the thing that starts to stand out. Now, LaCluck's Revenge here, like I said, standalone sequel. It does incorporate back into the original Wonder the Cult of Barnacle Bay, but you certainly don't need to know or have played that game to get the best experience out of what's happening here. And this is going to start manipulating with the systems that already exist in the original Wonder, specifically introducing things like Ghost Pirates. All of these minis here are actually technically ghosts. If I zoom in on them close enough, you can see the wispy little blue veins of trailing smoke lifting off of them, and they are coming back from the dead. I know, we'll get into flavor text in just a moment, but in the game system that I've been given, in the prototype that I've been given, you have a system called Fear. They're going to be haunting you, and your courage is going to be depleting. That's going to start manipulating that initiative board that I was talking about. Whenever your courage is depleted down to 0, every time you get attacked, you'll be losing one of your courage stats. You'll actually sink to the bottom of that initiative track, resetting and getting whatever buffs that are there. Everyone else will shift up, and you'll have to react and respond accordingly. Now we've taken that mechanic, that system that's a lot of fun to play with, and you've introduced another element to it. Do you use the haunt to your best advantage, allowing them to run you across the room? Potentially, yes, knocking you down, but that's okay. Running in fear does lead to that. But allowing you to actually control the shift on that initiative board? Or do you try to take control of it yourself, backing away and trying to only get hit when it's time to actually, well, deal with the issue at hand? Those are some of the decisions you'll be making here in LaCluck's. So, that being said, let's go ahead and set up a little bit of the flavor text. Barnacle Bay was a peaceful fishing village until it was taken over by the evil cult leader Elder Bane and his Cult of the Deep. The Cult of Barnacle Bay began meddling with magics far beyond their understanding and inadvertently resurrected the nefarious ghost pirate chicken Lord LaCluck and her monstrous crew of Ghost Pirate Monkey Grunts, Ghastly Pig Gunners, Wailing Albatross Banshees, and Rampaging Rhino Cannoneers, who have now come to seek their revenge on the small town of Barnacle Bay. The Wonders Guild, a guild of adventurers who are tasked to protect the realm, have sent out their seafaring team of adventurers to save the town. Lance, the Badger War Priest, Cutlass Kate, the Iguana Swashbuckler, Amanda, the Mongoose Monster Hunter, Flintlock Rodriguez, the Macaw Buccaneer, and Waku, the Frilled Lizard, Witch Doctor, set sail to Barnacle Bay to put an end to LaCluck once and for all. Wonder. LaCluck's Revenge is the sequel to Wonder, the Cult of Barnacle Bay. It's a co-op dungeon crawl, miniatures board game for 1 to 5 players. I've already told you all that. So, that's the lore. That's what's happening here. You're going to be going on this seafaring adventure. It's all in good humor. You can tell by the egregious and actually quite lovely names. I mean, who doesn't want to be Cutlass Kate the Swashbuckler or Lance the War Priest? I'm just telling you, I absolutely want to be those characters. The minis are fantastic, and that was true in the original, and even these prototype minis that I have here look absolutely wonderful. One of the things that I really loved about the original Cult of Barnacle Bay was all of the crazy sculpts and all of the different twisted type of characters they have. Let's see if I can find, there should be like an enemy stat page here somewhere full of artwork and nonsense. Let's see if I can pull that up. There we are. You were filled to the brim with like shark-based brutes and mega brutes and elder banes and arches, which are like bunny rabbits with tentacles spinning off the side of them. We have bats that look like they work in the occult magic. We have otters that actually have full pincer claws attached to them. They experiment and they explore in a world that not a lot of other dungeon crawls, not a lot of other board games play with. This hybrid of Redwall style, Everdell style animals twisted by the occult and distorted into a world where you must deal with them or suffer the consequences. And the same is true here for our player characters, which aren't as gruesome and aren't as twisted, but have fantastic poses, look awesome, and also just look like, I'll be honest, pretty incredible RPG playing characters. Like, if you don't think that I want to take Flintlock on our own wild adventure, you're wrong. So, summarize. Let's wrap this up. There's going to be a link down below where you can swing over to the Kickstarter page and take a closer look at Wonder, LaCluck's Revenge. But this is I think the book said there, 1 to 5 player? 1 to 5 player dungeon crawl set in the world and the game system of Wonder. It's a standalone sequel to the Cult of Barnacle Bay. You certainly don't need the old one in order to play the new one, but if you find you enjoy either one of these systems, there's going to be a lot of similarities and a lot of things that resemble each other when you sit down to play. It's a fun, accessible, family weight game. If you're going to be going through a story yourself, solo, and you don't want something that's overly complicated, you don't want to dive in too head first into a puzzle that you're never sure if you're going to finish, Wonder is an amazing way to start journeying into this hobby space. But if you do have a smaller game group, or you have a group of mid to lighter weight friends who are interested in exploring a game system like this, I think Wonder is one of the better games out there to start looking into and start exploring the world of dungeon crawls and the world of story-based or choose-your-own-adventure games. So, there you have it. There's an overview, there's a breakdown, there's a quick look at everything that's happening here with LaCluck's Revenge. And the only thing I'm upset about is I got these ghostly rhinoceroses, but I didn't actually get the chicken miniature, which, based off of these beautiful albatrosses, is going to be probably one of the most regal bird-based miniatures in the gaming world. So if you don't think that I want it, you're inherently wrong. Thanks for watching, thanks for being here. Whatever the case, whatever you do, remember to do the important thing. Get out and play some games. See you next time. Bye.